let's talk about solo entrepreneurship, a one-man business, or as I like to call it, a life mastery business. And in order to explain what in the world that is, I want to look at it through the lens of old school vaudeville performers. This will all make sense, I promise you. Let's dig in. In case you are new here, hello, great to see you. Thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Jonathan Pritchard from iCanReadMinds.com. My background is, since I was 13 years old, I started a business entertaining companies at their picnics and employee events, and that has taken me around the world working with companies like BP, State Farm, United Airlines, even performed in Vegas and overseas to entertain the troops. And by the time you are watching this, I'll actually be in Dubai for a 10-day gig for a consulting thing. So that's my background, and I want to kind of bring you up to speed on how I've gotten to do all this stuff. Even if side hustle isn't your thing, this is for you. A life mastery business is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. You learn to master life and get paid for it. And there's a really cool way to make that work. And let's go all the way back to the late 1800s, early 1900s. Vaudeville was the main entertainment. That was the thing to do. You didn't go out to the movies. In fact, movies kind of got their start as a traveling show in vaudeville. And that's the kind of thing that you would see when you would go to the theater. So vaudeville was a whole bunch of theaters around the country and even internationally owned by the same kind of folks. So as a performer, if you got in at one owner's circuit, you could perform all over the country, go across the world. And as I explained in this video, Houdini got booked and got super famous really fast. It was kind of through those vaudeville theaters. And the interesting thing to me was that vaudeville entertainers would do the same 10 to 12 minute act for about 30 years. That's the one thing that they would do thousands and thousands and thousands of times. And the people who would book them would even sign them saying, as seen. The way I saw you do it the last time, that's exactly what I want to see you do every single time you're performing at my theater. So sometimes they would do shows during the day, during the evening. Basically, anytime that you would show up, there'd be something to watch, whether it's jugglers, ventriloquists, comedians, acrobats, magicians, all sorts of variety shows that would come along later on television kind of got their start in vaudeville. So imagine doing one thing for 3, 4, 5 decades, the kind of mastery you would get from doing the exact same thing. We don't really see that anymore today, where you are able to do one thing and then retire with it. Vaudeville had that opportunity, but TV comes along, and imagine you're that performer. Oh, television, that's great. I can get my name out there. People will see me. I'll get booked even more. This will be fantastic. Television, though, is a hungry monster. It's going to devour your life's work. So you've spent 20 years touring vaudeville, and then you make it to television. Well, when you perform it on television, okay, great. We saw what you did on TV. What else can you do? What's new? What's different? What's the next thing that you've got? So in the age of television, that thing, that one thing that could have been a whole career for the rest of your life is gone in one broadcast. And now, if you want to come back, you've got to relearn a lifetime's worth of skill for just one more appearance. So broadcast media is a monster that will devour your entire back catalog. Nowadays, flash forward to the internet, that pace is even faster. Attention spans aren't really shorter. I mean, people watch 30-minute videos here on YouTube. You just have to be interesting. But the thing is, doing one thing for the next 30 years isn't the best way to make use of the power of the internet. So this is where the life mastery business comes into play. So the idea is to not fight the monster, but to make it your pet. Okay, the monster is very hungry. It's going to eat everything that you learn. Awesome. Because you're curious about life, about business, about people, relationships, fitness, whatever it is you are interested in. Use that curiosity to fuel your presence on social media, on the internet, on your own website, building that foundation of authenticity and believability and authority because people see you doing what you can do. And then once you've learned to do it, you're teaching other people how to do this. If you are interested in learning how to do what I do, awesome. I've got an e-course for you. And you continually package up the skills that you've learned in front of the internet and then help other people short circuit their process and their journey to acquiring those same skills. So by the time you master one thing, it's time to learn another thing. So you are constantly leveling up and mastering more and more skills and integrating them and learning how to apply leverage for future benefit. You're just getting better and better at getting better and better. So that's why I call it a life mastery business. It's not just being a coach for coaches and selling courses on how to sell courses. It's more genuine about following your curiosity, sharing that message, and then being able to leverage that into the next thing. So my background, like I said, I got started as a magician doing magic tricks and then specialized in the mind reading angles. And then I made friends with other performers. I had gone to college for art, and I had always been interested in building websites by hand and drawing and painting. So I combined those into graphic design and web development. So by virtue of hanging out with other entertainers, I was able to take another interest of mine and then leverage it to be able to make the websites for my friends and then other entertainers who had heard of my work. So they asked my buddy, hey, who built your website? And they'd go, oh yeah, Jonathan did. So that's how I got more and more clients doing web development. Then those same folks were going, hey, I love my website, but how in the world can we get more people to see it? Okay, cool. Now you're talking about the very, very, very early days of digital marketing. And when I was in college was about the first year that Facebook came online. So this is how far back this goes for me. Well, then doing web development, then digital marketing and branding. And that's exactly what I talked about in the last video. I'll link that at the end of this video. And all the skills and tools that I've learned for myself, I've learned to help other people by putting them to use in a done for you kind of way. And then teaching other people, if you want to do this yourself, awesome, here you go. And then providing value that way. Right now, I'm learning how to create NFTs, which I've known how to do and done it for about 3 years already. But now I'm working on using them as gateways to content across websites and using them to gate a Discord server and then using them to gate access to custom clothing that I design. So yeah, if you are a member of the Zavant Squad, then you've got the NFT and that unlocks a whole new universe of experiences. Well, that's what I'm just fascinated with right now. And this is what I'm sharing with the world on Twitter and in my articles online. So again, the picture's really cool. It just unfolds in really interesting, cool directions that when I was a 13-year-old kid hanging out at the library reading art books and magic books, there's no way in the world that I would know that when I was 40 years old, I would be a Web3 consultant and branding consultant and speaker. Like there's no way to have predicted where I would wind up today. And that's literally my job. I'm a professional mentalist. It's one of my jobs to predict the future. So that's what I mean about a life mastery business. Using the power of the internet and the amazing tools that we have at our disposal. Right now, super hot, Midjourney and ChatGPT and any other AI stuff that comes out by the time that this video launches. With just those two, I can get a head start on writing articles to get the structure figured out. Then I can use that article to fill it in with my experience and my ideas and use the bones of what ChatGPT created and then actually create my own article from it. And then, oh yeah, I need a featured image and some images in between. Cool. I'll go ask my image guy, Midjourney, to generate some cool images that are exactly what I need, put them in, and voila, I just had an entire production crew, and it's one person and a whole bunch of awesome tools. So it's possible to be a single person and to be your own media company and your own curator for your audience, to wade through all this stuff and then save them lots of time and energy trying to find all that themselves. So there are different ways that you can present your experience in a way that will help other people, and then they will exchange value with you, whether that is in dollar terms or making connections to cool people at awesome companies who will bring you in as a consultant. There's really no end to the ways that you can leverage your experience and knowledge and interests once you figure out those principles. And that's what I want to share here on the YouTube channel that you are on right now. So if you're watching and you've gotten some ideas about it, just hit that like button. That's the easiest thing you can do to tell the algorithm, hey, this video should go out to more people. If you are more interested in kind of diving deeper into this kind of stuff, go over to icanreadminds.com. That's the easiest place to get connected to all the different things that I am doing. If you want to join the NFT club, awesome. Love to have you there as well. But yeah, also sound off in the comments. Let me know. What are you working on? What do you want to master? What do you want to share with the world? I genuinely want to hear about it. And oh yeah, like I said earlier, go ahead and check out this video next about personal branding secrets you can learn from millionaire magicians, and then subscribe to the channel. And as always, remember, if you can change your mind, you can change your life.